Good God day, my great friends, and welcome to video 5 of the Losing History to Make History series.
And this was one of the many quotes that was part of the development of this series. It's by C.S. Lewis. It's a beauty. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Once again, today's video is going to be all about relationships. We want to help you make a relation shift. Do you remember that quote by David White that you read long ago?
I believe it was, anything that does not make you feel alive is too small for you.
That's right. Great memory, great memory, and that includes your relationships. So back in video 1, Kaylee asked you to define what it means to become the greatest version of yourself. For me, it just means that I'm operating from a perspective of love 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you kind of shared your mission in the last series. What was that, your mission again?
To make the world a better place.
Yeah. And so the greatest version of you is someone who's making the world a better place day in and day out, okay? Once again, many thought leaders have tried to rip off this quote and pass it off as their own. It's all in the Bible, though, once again. And I'm going to just use Jim Rohn's rendition today. You are the average of the people that you surround yourself with. Maybe it's even spend the most time with. Once again, all these guys trying to call this one their own. We like to just say, you're a king or a queen in the kingdom of the King of Kings, and surround yourself with people who understand that they are a king or queen in the kingdom of the King of Kings, and you're all going to be good. But the point is, we're created as relational beings. Our relationships are going to make or break us. At DLI, we have created a connections mastery list because we want to help our clients master connection, because it's one of the ABCs of being Jivas, with the A being attitude, the B being body, the C being connections. So to have connection mastery, there has to be transparency. Okay, we're going to share 2 more items off of this sheet today. If you would like the sheet, just send me an email and I'll send it to you. And I don't even care if you send it around. I'm not worried about the intellectual property and all of these businesses that are worried about that. Yeah, I'm here for God, man. That's it. And if this gets spread around and 1 million people get it and I get no credit, I could care less, because I'm going to get a high five and a hug from God when I go up there. So one of the things on Connection Mastery List is your love languages. This is a free test anyone can take. Every family in the world should be taking it. Every married couple in the world should be taking it. Every single in the world should be taking it. And here's why. Love's pretty darn important. So Kaylee, if I suddenly started talking to you in Russian every day, what would happen to our relationship?
It would drift because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right, exactly. She might even have me committed to a mental institution. And what would happen if you started talking Portuguese all day? I'd say, I can't communicate with her any longer. Okay? That's why you got to know the love languages, because everybody has unique love languages. And by the way, if you think love is all verbal, it's crazy. Love is a verb. We got to have agape love, and we all communicate in different love languages. So, you ever have someone having a bad day and you tried to talk to them and it seemed to go nowhere? Okay, that's what I'm talking about here. It's like you're foreign languaging it. So, Kaylee, please share with the studio audience, what are your love languages?
Quality of life, acts of service, touch, words, and gifts.
And what she meant to say was quality time. But
oops.
Yeah, that's all right. We still get nervous when we do this stuff. Okay, and it's all right. Quality time.
Yeah.
We're spending quality time Easter Sunday shooting videos. My love languages are completely different from her, okay? Mine are physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. And on a sidebar note too, by the way, I've once again been able to share this list with thousands upon thousands, or this test with thousands of people. And outside of one person out of these thousands, everybody has gifts at the bottom. And we think about this holiday or that holiday. The world says, oh, if you want to show that person love, you better buy them a nice present. Newsflash, nobody freaking cares. And these companies that say, show your love by being the biggest ring out there, that's a big lie too. And if you're with someone who needs the biggest ring out there, they're lost, you're lost, everybody's lost. Nobody cares. Gifts on almost every person is the lowest thing. In this society we live in, it says, buy gifts to show your love. It's complete nonsense. Most of that stuff ends up in a drawer or at a garage sale. Okay? So find out what the love languages are. If you just go to Google and type in, find in your love languages, Mr. Larson gives the test away for free. And he's not all trying to sell everybody everything, because he's not a disgusting human being who's all about the money. But you got to find out what people's love languages are. And you got to speak to those love languages. I'll never forget when I was first with my wife, we were dating. And I've been doing this test for years at that point. Words of affirmation, as you heard, was my second one. So I was very complimentary of her. And she was a very impressive person, so the compliments were all real. And as we started to get serious, she said, could you stop complimenting me so much? Now that would have wounded somebody who was weak-minded. But I said, oh, it's time to find out what her love languages are. And I said, I find that fascinating. You'd want me to stop complimenting you. You must not have words as a love language. And my apologies for speaking to you in my love language. And she had already taken the test. She was excited I knew about it. And it turns out words of affirmation for her were, I think they were next to the bottom, but acts of service was her love language. So once I knew that, I make sure every day I communicate that to her in her language. And then, of course, she communicates me to mine. And touch does not mean what you think it means. It means hand holding, a pat on the back, a hug, all of those things. So you got to communicate your love languages. You need to find out what other people's love languages are. And once again, love is what we all really want. So be love, don't be an a-hole. If you're someone who thinks yelling and screaming is a solution, you're beyond lost. If you're someone who thinks getting drunk and numbing your emotions is a solution, you're beyond lost. Okay? Love is what we really want. Find out your languages, get those needs met. But the second thing, in this land of pretend that we have, and people growing resentful, you also have to find out what people's boundaries are / their deal breakers. Healthy relationships have healthy boundaries and healthy deal breakers that have been communicated. So Kaylee, what are your deal breakers?
Someone who does drugs, drinks, they're mean, loud, and rude.
So once again, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, don't pretend these things don't exist. Before it gets serious, communicate them. And like when I was an educator, I used to be a school teacher, in case you didn't know that. I came in and I was very clear about my boundaries as a teacher, and there was no pushing of the boundaries. Because I knew to be a great teacher, I had to teach these kids to be respective of boundaries. Okay? My deal breakers, I will not be in a relationship with anyone who drinks. End of story. And people find that pretty harsh, but when your best friend died from it and you see what the end game is, I'm not inviting that into my life. And once again, like I always say, nobody ever woke up and said, hey, I hope to grow up to be an alcoholic someday. So for me, I'm a teetotaler. Second one, rude people, mean people, people who are on social media all the time. And people who are turbulent. Those are all my deal breakers. I communicate them. So in your life, we want you to have communication mastery. You've got to find out what your love languages are. You've got to share those with everyone you know and find out what theirs are. And you've got to be honest about your deal breakers, because we've all got them. Like, stop pretending they don't exist. And of course, the healthy relationship starts with self. So, of course, have your own boundaries for yourself and don't violate your own boundaries. But Kaylee, on the path of connection mastery, losing your history to make history, do you have anything else that you want to share with the audience?
Please hit like, subscribe, and share.
All right. See you guys the next video. Love you all.